So now the president said that he can be the president forever, and we don't know which this means, like where it's gonna go. What if they go back to what happened in the 70s? Nobody wants that to be coming back, but I'm not sure.
What happened in the 70s?
Yeah, the Cultural Revolution.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Explain what that was.
So yeah, during that times, like generally the president Mao was not the president anymore, but he still wanted to have that control. So he kind of like talked to all the people from all of the country and say we need to, kind of have the revolution over those leaders, the governments, between him, the Mao, and the people. So nobody goes to work, nobody goes to school, and the whole society just shut down, and nobody goes to school. All the like teachers, doctors, they don't work anymore, and they everything is not right. So we need to revolute everything we have, the Chinese tradition.
They shut down all of the schools?
Yeah, nobody goes to school. The university they close it for 5 or 7 years. My mom doesn't go to school. She was in the primary school, so she was just not going to school. Instead, she just have fun.
Well, what kind of effects do you think
It has
that caused?
So, like we all know, like the Chinese tradition.
What is the Chinese
and the
tradition?
We can sense something from the Japanese culture and the Korean culture, like how people treat each other, how people treat each other, how people face
With
the respect, which is really, really important, and to the ancestors, and to what ancestors give us, the culture, the knowledge. So the tradition from that, it's all gone. So during that time, everything is not right. Of course, we know some tradition is not really good, like the female problem, like they treat female not really good.
The patriarchal society.
Yeah, the sexist, and they have something which is not good. But when you say everything is not right, they kind of like target every aspect of the tradition. They think everything is not good, so they kind of destroy all of that.
And they burned
the books, and they kind of like trying to break the families, because the family in China is the most important unit. Like they try to break that, and so I have a story.
Like parents and children were fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. They trying to encourage the children to report their parents for doing something bad. But usually in the traditional Chinese culture, like
you don't talk back to your parents.
Yeah, you don't talk back. No, it's like you need to protect your parents. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Even though, for example, like your father committed like murder, he did something bad. Your father did something bad. As a son, I need to protect him. That's the most important thing to me. I need to protect him because he's my father, even though he did something right, something wrong. So that's kind of the tradition. My grandma used to tell me that she, like in her house, she has a lot of fancy plate with Mao's portrait on it. And this one time she has like, she had this used like what kind of cloth, which just wash the dishes, those clothes. She used that to clean the portrait, clean those plates, which have Mao's portrait on it. And my mom,
a fancy plate.
Yeah, and she used the cloth which is washing dishes. And my mom, she was only like 7 years old. She saw that, and she said, "I'm gonna report you to the stool because you use that to clean your. This is so bad. You use that. I will report you. This is happens so like to every family.
And the kid was what, 7?
Yeah.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Did that break your family apart?
Yeah. My family from my mother's side kind of broke down during the revolution culture because my grandpa, he went to the prison because somebody reported on him, but he said he never said anything bad to anybody except his wife, because he know this is a really serious situation, so he really closed his mouth. But to his wife, to my grandma, he said something, and somebody reported him about the information, and he realized that it must be her. There's nobody else. So what do you expect that? So he went to the prison for a couple of years, and he went out. The marriage broke down, right? They never went back well because he always suspect his wife is the one who report him.
There could be other spies.
They could, but he said he never say anything. He only says something, when they're alone and they say something, and he find out the government knows those informations. He only told to his wife. But this might
so
not
scary. Like there's no security cameras back
yeah. So
no,
there's no
audio
evidence.
tapes.
There's no evidence. But this is like a lot of families. The family break down. Well, what did you do? Like what? You say something bad, right? And they just mentally torture you or something, and that's really common during that time. So during their lifetime, they experience so many things. They living through the 30s and the 40s where they don't have the communism take over the country, and then they welcome when they welcome the communism who took over the country, and they lived through all those decades, and during their lifetime everything's so confused because every decade they have different direction of life. Like when they were 20s, they think the life value should be like this, and when the communism come over, what we had was wrong, so they changed their life value, and they keep changing, and they got confused. And then when they come to the capitalism society right now, and they think money is the god right now, but 40 years ago, money is the hell, is the evil. And that was told by the communism in the 60s and 50s, and then money is the worst. We need to fight America. Of course, it's going to be confused for us too. As our generation gets older, we realize that it's like why is this updating? Why is the value changing all the time?
Yes, like time is changing, values are changing.
Yeah.
And so also this idea of Chinese coming to America, immigrating at different points in time.
Yeah.
They also have a different understanding of like what Chinese culture is and what it means to be Chinese based on the time period they came.
When they leave, when they left the country, if they lived in the 70s, they have the value system which focus on the 70s, and when they come to America, they host that memory, and the people who come from the 90s, those people cannot communicate with each other anymore. That's like the Chinese American have this problem, is really have that, like you come to America in the 90s with the people come to America now, they have totally different value system because back in the country they changed. I think that's one of the problems that the Chinese American has here, like why they don't host together, they don't like become a unit and they welcome each other, because they're not just language barrier, like different dialect. We talk about the different language we're talking about.
Because the country is so big.
Yeah, that's one thing.
With many
too.
different regions.